Well, hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, My Noah Hyde Family. Sometimes a thought runs through our mind. It often is sparked by maybe something we're reading or something someone said to you, or just a passing thought that's, boiled up into our mind and we think about it. We spend time thinking about these things. And so it, in my mind, when this happens to me, it sort of is telling me, make a difference every day. There's something every day that you can do to make a difference to that day. It may be for somebody else. It may be for you. It may be you have a more thoughtful and soulful prayer time with Hashem. But whatever it is you're doing, if you're doing it with intent, then there's an outcome. And that outcome is designed to be beneficial for, depending on what the outcome is, to a person or persons, but also it is doing God's work. And sometimes we don't spend enough time just preparing ourselves to fulfill that wonderful time when we spend time with our loving Father and we talk to Him and we come away feeling a lot better. Now, along with that, there are so many other good things that come from this, but like everything, we have to put a little bit of effort into it. And I got to thinking further about this a few days ago. I was actually in the middle of decluttering my sewing room, which occasionally becomes a dump zone when you're in a hurry to tidy up. I'll put it in there, and of course it gets added to. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. We've all got a little clutter bundle somewhere, a little dump zone somewhere, and eventually it takes over and we can't get our mind over that. And so often we have to just start there. Clean up that little bundle of clutter. Is it any good to me? Why am I saving it? What am I going to do with it? So that's what led me to spend some time thinking about things to talk about in this video. And so I've called it Make a Difference Every Day. And it doesn't have to be a monumental difference. As long as you are satisfied that you have done what you intended to do or what you wanted to do, done something that has improved everything and opened up other pathways, freed your mind up, you're not agitated, you're able to acknowledge other things or maybe enjoy other things. And so I got to writing down a little list. Yes, when you get old you have to have a list. Yes, definitely. Even if you've got 3 things, you still need to make a list lest you will forget one of them. So every day, this is what I've been trying to do. I haven't achieved everything. We will make a slip up every now and then. We won't complete this list every day, but it serves as a reminder. There's things there that jump out at us someday and we think, that's what I'm going to do today. It'll make a difference. So I will start. It's a fairly long list, and by no means are you expected to do this every day, but it will give you some thoughts about how you might want to change things, free your time up to do certain things, or maybe it's a project that you've been dying to get to, but you just haven't made time for it. And this applies to women and men. Men know the same thing. I'm going to do that. Yeah, when I get time. Well, sometimes we just have to hit the floor running with our feet and say, today's the day, I'm going to do it. And, God knows that we have good intentions. Sometimes we don't succeed, but other days it's a brilliant day and we accomplish everything through God's grace. So let's take a look at some of these things. your morning ritual. I'm not suggesting you have to follow what I'm saying, but these were things that came to my mind and may well be something that's part of your morning ritual, or you may add it to your daily ritual. Now, morning ritual includes prayer, certainly at least 3 to 5 minutes of just concentrated conversation with Hashem. Nothing else matters. Then in my garden, and which is by no means a palatial garden, it needs a bit of attention. It's been kind of getting a little bit cluttered and overgrown in the last 12 months because I haven't been able to spend as much time as I'd like out there. Mind you, it's not a large garden, but I enjoy what's in it. And so in my garden, one corner at a time, just one little bit, it's exercise, the bending, the stretching, it's exercise. So think of that as your daily routine for exercise. Another thing that I think is so very important, particularly I feel when you're aging. We haven't done it all yet and we haven't learnt everything. So I think learn something new today. Now, it could be just a tiny little thing. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to start studying books and things non-stop, but learn something new today. It might be a little sewing tip. It might be how to use a certain tool for woodworking or something. There may be just something that you've been longing to learn about, but you just haven't given yourself the push. So learn that. Set aside time one of these days through the week to learn something new that feel you'd like to do. Then we come on to, and look, there's plenty of how-to things all over YouTube. You've just got to put how to fix a step or how to grow roses, anything like that you can pretty much find on YouTube in your area. There'll be some sort of garden club or, men's shed, something like that. There's always something there if you look for it. Then I say, this is for me, depending on what I'm doing that day, dress with intention for myself, to impress myself. Now, if I'm going to be making a video like today, I put a lot more effort into how I present myself today on this video than if I was getting up to just do straight out housework and tidying up. There's things, that you just don't need to do for that. But dress with intention for what it is you're doing that day. That starts with impressing yourself. Okay, I'm dressed, I'm ready for the task at hand. Now, that could be going to a meeting, going shopping, meeting your friends for lunch, going out in the garden. It doesn't matter. Dress for your intention to impress yourself. Then we got to look at also, this is, we're great at procrastinating and complaining. We've just got to learn to put a stop on that. So eliminate complaining, being grouchy, etc. Gratitude is the best medicine. And focus on the bright side. We can all think of something each day that we're very grateful for, but often we don't acknowledge it. I'm grateful I woke up this morning and my heart's still beating. That's a big plus. That's a big plus. I woke up, I made another day. Let's get in and do something, Focus on the good, on the bright side, on the positive side. The other thing is smile a lot. Do you know, even if you smile at yourself, when you look in the mirror of a morning and you're getting ready for your day, give yourself a smile, because your smile is a lot more powerful than you imagine it to be. First of all, it releases all sorts of good things in your body because you're smiling, but it's also a gift to other people. So, it's great to call a friend and laugh often. that comes with smiling and feel good emotions and things like that. So we're not meant to be walking around like we're carrying a heavy load and our lips curl down, and life is too short for that. We don't need that. If you have a hobby or some sort of creative expression, try and make time through your week, or mightn't get to it every day, but if it's something that just gives you pleasure and contemplative calmness and things like that, then spend time doing that. It might be that you enjoy reading. It might be that you're an amateur painter or something like that, or sewing, your patchwork, all those things, knitting, in your garden, whatever that wonderful thing that gives you that intent to smile and be glad at what you're looking at and what you're doing. Spend time doing that. That's important because that nourishes you. You're not meant to have your nose to the grindstone in boring, unfulfilling activities all your life. So start an interest that just, flower arranging, whatever it is, gardening, growing veggies, anything at all that gives you pleasure. The other thing is we need to practice forgiveness and begin by forgiving ourselves. We're often very, very harsh critics of ourselves, and we need to stop lamenting our past regrets. Those things are something that we tend to regurgitate over and over. If only I hadn't. I wish I had done. We go over things, revisiting past experiences and dwelling too much. We need to say, you know what, Hashem? I've got to get past this. This is not what you want me to be doing. I wish I hadn't done it, but no matter how much I lament about this, all it's doing is putting me in a negative frame of mind again. I'm not acknowledging the good things that I've done. So practice that. Forgive yourself. You're allowed to say, look, stop lamenting, old girl. Don't worry about it. Just get over that. It's gone, it's past, finished with. Another one is don't take life too serious. Now, there are enough times in our life when we have to be serious and contemplative and seriously analysing things that go in our life. Life often throws us a curveball, and we need to just be ready for that. But by the same token, don't make the situation into something bigger than it actually is. Recognise it. Can I fix this? No. Okay. I have to go get past it. It's done. Or can I fix this? Yes. Yes. Next time I won't do such and such, or I will do such and such. But don't keep beating yourself up, because you know what? It does not, it's enough to recognise and say, Hashem, I messed up. I made a bad decision there. I wish I hadn't have done that. I regret it. Talk to Hashem about it. And that calm will come over. We're allowed to make a mistake, especially unintentional mistakes. They happen a lot. But we need to face it, embrace it, and move on. The other thing is that every day we should fill it with meaning and be grateful for this day. So this is another day. What's something meaningful I can do today? What is something that I will enjoy doing in this day? And again, that could be something as mundane as, you know what, been looking at that pile of mending. I'm going to do that today. I'm just going to sit quietly, listen to some music, and I'm going to mend all that stuff today, and that'll be good. That'll be out of the road. Or the men might be, I've been going to clean that shed out. There's stuff in there. No, I'm going to start a corner of it today. So you can all relate to these things I'm saying, and you're probably all by now going, yeah, I know what you're saying. So there's just a few more things, but yeah, fill your day with meaning and be grateful for that day. Grateful for an opportunity you've had, grateful for something that or pleasure you've brought to someone else, grateful for just being able to do it. Complete your day. The other thing we need to remind ourselves now is in believing in the power of our prayers. It is, you've no idea how many people I still hear saying, I don't know if God listens to my prayers. How do I know? And then they'll go on to tell you something that, might have happened that was good or whatever, So something as simple as, when I went to get my car serviced today, I got a discount for being a loyal customer at the garage. The hand of God. The hand of God is everywhere. You've just got to look for it. So that power of prayer it goes along with gratitude as well. If you're grateful for things, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. No, don't be like the lady in the car park. I've told you this story, I think, many times. Lady comes in to do the groceries. Busy. Friday afternoon. Got to get the groceries before we pick the kids up. Please, God, find me a car park. She drives further. She doesn't matter. Skip that. I've already found one, Hashem. I found my own car park. We're all a bit like that, aren't we? Give the credit where credit's due, and usually to Hashem. The other couple of things here I've got are when we're put in a position of having to make decisions or lead or take care of something, then I've got here, lead with confidence and by example. If you have to take care of something, make sure you know what you've got to do and how you're going to do it, and be confident about it and set a good example. So you've got to have that self-confidence in our personal values and challenges and compassion. So these things I have found are fairly central to most everything we do throughout our lives. And I'll say it again, if you have to be put in a position of making decisions, be it in the family or wherever, the workplace, if you have to lead, then lead with confidence and lead by example. Lead how you want the others to copy or follow. And have self-confidence in our personal values. I can meet this challenge. I've got credentials or I've got skills that I can deal with this. I know how to deal with this. And amongst all that, because there's so many different challenges, one of the most important things is to keep your compassion alive. Be compassionate when you have to deal with difficult people. Although it is hard, sometimes you just don't know how you're going to deal with a particular person, but you have to just say, Hashem, I know I'm agitated and upset about having to, speak with this person, but please give me the grace and the courage to do it with compassion as you would have me do. And you will come away feeling a lot better. So will the other person. Whatever we are doing each day, none of us can do this without Hashem's help. Another one is always be fair and take responsibility. So, if you're always the one that, you might be the one in the group that always puts your hands up and says, look, I'll do that, I'll take care of that. That's great, but don't do it begrudgingly. So if you're one of the persons that then says, I'll have to do it, don't be like that. You don't have to put your hand up for everything if you're not up to the task. You might have perfectly good reasons why you're not able to do it. But when you do put your hand up, take responsibility for that. Embrace it. Be fair about it. When you communicate, we need to just remind ourselves every now and then to communicate clearly, because not everyone uses the same vocabulary or has the same approach to speaking about a topic. So everyone has different ways of presenting something or asking for something or telling you something. So we just have to recognize that and make sure that we communicate clearly. If we're not understanding, say, can you just refresh me again about that? Don't go off thinking, oh, don't know, really understand that. You're not doing yourself any favour, the other person any favour, and you're certainly not doing Hashem any favours. So you've got to think, if you're not understanding or grasping what someone's trying to tell you, because their ability to communicate may be, a little, how shall I say, untidy. It doesn't mean that you can't make an effort to try and understand what they're saying. The other thing is, and this is, I think we all know this ourselves, but we need to remind ourselves, is don't accept any unjust behaviour, either towards someone else or your family or yourself. If it is unjust behaviour, you have to say, bring it to the attention of wherever the source of it's coming from. You have to ask some questions. You have to say, look, am I just refresh my memory here. Did you say blah, 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 blah? Or did you want me to do such and such and such and such? And then you might say, because I've found a problem there. I don't think that is the right way to do it. Or I think you're asking or expecting too much from me. I'm not sure that I'm capable of reaching those standards that you expect. You have to say something, get a conversation going, start a dialogue, because usually the outcome is better than you're going to expect it to be. And the last one, make a difference in your street. I've always said, kindness starts on the street where you live. Being a good neighbour starts on the street where you live. And most of all, stay humble. When you do something and you think, you know what, I did a pretty good job, it's enough to thank Hashem for that. Because you did the job to your satisfaction because of Hashem. He gave you the tools or the idea or the support or the strength to do that task. So I think I've done it fairly well, Hashem. I hope I've done it the way you wanted it done. Thank you. Acknowledge it. Be humble and be thankful to our Creator. And if you start doing that, I don't mean you've got to go through that list every day. It's just some things I thought of that struck me as important. And so I think every day we make a difference. Now, sometimes we have no idea what a difference just our smile does for someone. There are times when people will say something to you and you think, for an example, someone might say to you, every time I see you in the supermarket, you're always smiling and nodding at people. You've always got a smile on your face. Well, that's nice when someone tells you that, because often you're not aware of it, but it's so easy to make someone else feel good without going to too much effort, And I know myself, I'm pretty short, and I'm sure I'm shrinking even more. Sometimes there's stuff up on the high shelf I can't get. There's not always an attendant there, but I've found as I get older, I don't feel self-conscious anymore about asking some tall person that might be in the aisle, could you reach that down for me? And if there's attendants in the aisle, I would ask them. And you know what? They're happy to do it too, certainly, We shouldn't be frightened to ask for help when we need help. You might be hearing one of my dogs is pretend crying because he wants to be out here with me, but he makes too much noise while I'm doing videos, so I'm not being cruel. I just need to have him in another room. The other thing I want to just mention too, I will be starting doing some pencil art for kids, teaching adults and kids, or I'll do some short videos. I'll try and put those up at least once a fortnight. I might get it done more regularly if I have more time on my hands. And once again, I just again want to thank you all for being so kind. And I get lots of emails. Please be patient with me. I will answer them as I can get to them. I really appreciate the prayers and the very kind comments and things people make. It really does gladden my heart. I'm so grateful for it. I want to thank you all and give you a big kiss and say I hope one day we all can meet in person, and wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that just be wonderful? Maybe in a few months' time when everything settles, we could all gather in Jerusalem. I think that'd be nice. All the Noahides make an effort to get to Jerusalem. In the meantime, my dears, please take care and God bless.